This one's a classic.
Japanese folklore. Onryo and yokai both refer to supernatural being. Yokai, on the other hand, is more of a catch-all term that includes the vengeful. The official release introduced Osiria, which includes El Nath and everything that came with it. One of the big improvements for an assassin was the fact that lycanthropes were added to the game, and they had Ilbies in their drop table. Boss.
Victoria Island.
It's 2006. You spent the entire day playing MapleStory, and because you have school tomorrow, you log off for the night and tell your friends you'll be back tomorrow. In the moment, it felt like any other day. It felt like any other exchange you'd have with anyone in your life. It didn't feel impactful. Even if these were people you communicated with only through your old CRT computer monitor in a game about mushrooms. At the time, we never felt as though those memories would be so important to us. I've been thinking a lot lately about experiences like this, about the worlds we spend our time in and the people we interacted with, the places that games invited us to live inside for hours at a time. And I don't usually stop to think about atmosphere if I'm being honest. I tend to focus on systems. I like watching numbers go up. I'm happy with simply grinding out a few levels and calling it a day. My lack of attention to atmosphere can be a detriment sometimes. I think because of that, I miss certain things. I know how a game feels to exist within, but I never really took the time to ask why. Maybe it has something to do with the era I grew up in, where everything was a low-poly 3D model, warped textures stretching across worlds that barely held together. Stare at that for long enough and it rewires your brain a little bit. You tend to simply accept game worlds as they are. As time's gone on, I've found myself coming back to cozy older MMOs more frequently. Not even for progression, really, I just like the way they feel. There's a comfort there that's difficult to describe, a comfort that gets harder to hold on to as the years pass. These were games built with limitations in mind, an element of creativity that seems to be mostly forgotten these days, and that restraint gave them character. They feel frozen in time. These are relics of the past. And when you spend enough of your life in a place like that, it sticks with you. So tonight I wanted to sit with that feeling for a while. I put together a few tapes. I visited some worlds I hadn't in a long time, and I explored some that I've never touched. I don't really know what I'm looking for yet either, only that I want to see how they feel now through older eyes, whether that comfort is still there, or if it was just nostalgia doing the heavy lifting. It felt like a good night to find out. Let's get started. Online, Korean made in the early 2000s, one of my childhood favorites, and a game that still receives a lot of love to this day actually, both from me and whatever developers are keeping Flife Universe alive. We won't be going too in-depth right now since I already covered it, but there's still more I want to do with this game. For example, growing up, I always wanted to make a blade. There was no particular reason for it, I promise. Blade was always considered the cool class of Flife. Yeah, you had jesters and elementors, even bill posters, they're all cool in their own way, but Blade was on a different level. The sheer number of low-quality 240p videos with Fallout Boy music far exceeded that of other classes in the early days of YouTube and even Google Video. Today, as we cover other cozy old MMOs, I want to recount my experiences with raising a new character to become a Blade, and maybe I'll also find some cool, interesting thing to accomplish in-game. I'll probably just grind though, because that's what 90% of these games are. I was thinking, what should the goal of this character be? Obviously, I could just go make a Blade. That's easy. Just get to level 60, get the job advancement, whatever. But they've actually added a lot of stuff to this game. Like, there are life skills now, production and gathering. There's housing, and the housing is expensive. It's like 100 million pinya to buy a house to even get started. So this is my Ringmaster. I just got her to level 60 in the last time I talked about Flife. I got her to level 60, and that was like the whole point of that video. So I am sweating in Flife. But if there's ever a game to sweat in, wouldn't you want it to be the cute anime MMO where everyone flies? Tons of achievements we could potentially reach. There's a couples system in the game, which I find very interesting. I wonder if it's the most loser thing that you could possibly do to marry your own two characters together. A lot of stuff is locked behind level requirements. Even becoming a couple requires level 61 on both characters. So I guess we already have goals to work towards. I mean, first and foremost, I need to get to level 15. That's gonna take a little while. Okay, let's get Inspector Coco so I actually have a pet that can loot stuff. We can worry about other pets that give stats and stuff like that in the future. I just need to get this started. My God, there's so much to this game, and a lot of this stuff was not part of the original experience. I'll tell you that much right now. In fact, because I have all these buffs, I could probably go to much higher level monsters. I probably don't need to stay at level 1 enemies. The fuck is this thing? They got zombies in Flife now? Yeah, see, now I'm getting experience again. Okay, we're good. Let's get this grind started. Level 5 plus 1, so level 6. Yeah, fill the action slot with the same skill. Okay, I bought the fastest weapons available, because I'm trying to be a Blade right now. There is a potion that you can get that gives you unlimited, like, FP for a while. Here we go. This is what it is. A very strong energy drink that completely refills the imbiber's FP while granting unlimited FP for a limited time. Probably gonna be spending a fucking ton of money on those things. Welcome to Korean MMOs. Hope you enjoy your stay. Honestly, genuinely though, I do love this game and I love Flife Universe. I'm glad they're keeping it alive. Not sponsored, by the way. There's no money has exchanged hands except for me giving the fucking game money. I'm getting buffed by someone else and I'm not sure. This Master Ringmaster has more int and better skills. How nice of them. Damn, look at the damage increase, bro. Holy shit. I'm doing over double what I was just doing. So, you know, eventually, obviously, I want to level my Ringmaster up more. Level 60 was never the end goal. But, like, I mean, look at this. Look at the difference. Ringmaster buffs are so insane. Yeah. Listen to me, everybody. Okay, listen up. Pay attention. If you're gonna play Flife, it's probably a good idea to make a Ringmaster. It's much like, unfortunately, as much as I hate this meta, it's a lot like Maple's Story, where it's like, you should probably make a bishop before you make a real character. I am finally level 15. It didn't even take a full 30 minutes of my Vital Drink X. That's how fast that was. Oh my God. Normally, this process of getting from 1 to 15, if you don't pay to win, takes like at least an hour, maybe 2. This is definitely the fastest I've ever done it. How do you do job advancements in this game? Housing specialist. This is the guy. Jesus. 4 billion pinya for an extra large world. I could probably get a medium. I could probably get a medium size house. 200 mil. My God, bro. I need to figure out where to get my job advancement. Yeah, this is the fun part of older MMOs, is trying to figure out how to get your job advancement. Looks like I got it. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, I found it finally. Mercenary is what we want. And now we have to actually literally go do a quest to get first job after grinding out 15 levels. God, I can't get enough of these old MMOs, dude. I love them so much. And there's a time limit for some reason. Now we have another task. There is another task I have to complete. We gotta get 10 little things from these guys, 10 twinkle stones. Then we have to go kill some monsters. Okay, that first part didn't take very long. The worst part about this is you can't get experience while killing these guys. So it's strictly for the love of getting first job. It's a passion project. I finally got everything. Oh my God, that took forever. I mean, again, we're talking about like 15 minutes, not forever. So we're still not a mercenary yet. We have to go talk to the High Dwarf pet. He's way the fuck over there, dude. Okay, talk to Long Drong. What is that? Finally. Finally, stats and skills are reset. We are finally a mercenary. Now, we need to figure out how to play that class. Oh wait, I have a new weapon though. Yeah, this looks like a katana. Welcome back. That was Flife, the first tape of the night, and that story has yet more to come. We've only seen the very beginning of this Blade's journey, and we'll be revisiting it a few more times. Flife is a very nostalgic, classic childhood MMO for me. I grew up playing it, and the fact that it's still being taken care of to this day makes me very happy. It has a special, unique atmosphere of its own, and it's something I like to revisit from time to time when the opportunity arises. Speaking of nostalgic old MMOs, we have a game called Eden Eternal coming up next, our first new game of the night. So, what's the atmosphere like? What are the vibes, you know? Go ahead and pop that tape into your VCR. When you hear the tone, hit play, and I'll see you on the other side. Developed by a company called X-Legend and released on October 28, 2010, Eden Eternal released only a few months before Terra Online, which we discussed in a previous video, one of my favorite high school era games. Because I'm old now is why. Eden Eternal was published by Area Games, publisher of a number of other well-known games, including Laetale in Europe, another game we previously discussed, though the North American publisher was different. Eventually, Area Games stopped publishing it though, and X-Legend re-released it themselves. This is the version we're going to be looking at today. Eden Eternal was never on my radar in quite the same way as others we've discussed. There are no childhood memories I associate with its systems or classes, nothing at all actually. It wasn't even until maybe 2023 that a friend of mine mentioned it and I finally checked it out for the first time. Turns out, it hit all the requirements. cute graphics, somewhat outdated yet charming systems, and a couple interesting hooks that made it stand out a little bit in a sea of other cute MMOs of the era. I'm going to spend about a week playing Eden Eternal, recounting my experiences and exploring this MMO from a simpler time without the veil of nostalgia blinding me. Okay, this is Eden Eternal. We're installing the game right now. All these old MMOs, for some reason, have not updated their installers, so you still get these like mid-2000s install shield wizard things. It's so cool. Luckily, it's now safe to install the game, so we're gonna do that. And I know that it's very easy to differentiate the text from the background and the progress bar. This is all very easy to, it's very easy on the eyes. Oh my God, why does it have to download a million little items one at a time? There's 200 million 1 kilobyte items that it has to download one by one. What the fuck is that guy? What is that thing in the bottom right? I hate it. Get it off my screen, please. While Inspector Gadget was looking through my browser's search history to make sure I didn't download EdenEternalCheats.exe, I was treated to what can maybe be called an animation, but is mostly actually a machinima. I love these old anti-cheat solutions from the 2000s, by the way. GameGuard was probably the biggest one of the era. We all got pretty used to seeing this pop up every time we would launch MapleStory. They said, I really love llamas. I'm gonna put llamas on my whole game as my mascot of my whole MMO. The character creation process was kind of crazy, actually. They presented me with hundreds of cosmetic options in the tiniest little window that they could possibly create. None of these matter, by the way. From what I can tell, they're nothing more than previews of like premium cosmetics you can acquire, or maybe just end-game gear. Well, what the fuck? There's like an animation on this sword. What, is this game gonna be really good? Is this gonna be like most of the games that I've played in these videos, and it's actually super fun and cool and I like it? Is that gonna happen again? I like how Illusionist has a book, and then you can go Warlock, and you get an evil book. Oh, there's different races, just like real life. Where's the boy mode hairstyle? I mean, this is kind of it, right? I actually really like the art style in this game. It's growing on me a little bit. Name?
Togain.
The name is already taken.
NestleFan 2025.
Names containing symbols, spaces, and or profanity are not allowed. What do you mean? Bro, what are you talking about? How is Nestle a slur? Okay, you can put but don't put the word Nestle in your name. Ah, here we go. First thing you see when you log in is not a tutorial or like directions on what you might consider doing first. No, it's about how to spend more money on us. Oh my God, I forgot I named myself. The bloom in this game needs to chill out a little bit, dude. Okay, hello everybody, it is me. I'm just walking. Oh my God, you can double jump. What is this, is this actually like an action MMO? Talk to Athena Marie. Oh, you can teleport to her. Oh, you're dead, dude. You are so fucking dead. Was that my basic attack? My first day playing, the game surprised me a lot. It's not the most modern feeling MMO I've ever played, but it's surprisingly competent and very mid-2000s feeling, despite originally being released for us in 2010. The controls feel a little bit weird. This was made using the Gamebryo game engine, but I was having fun playing Ninja and going through the early quests regardless. What's my second ability? Jeez, that's a little much for level 2, yeah? That's a little flashy. Skills are supposed to suck at first. Resonating blow is like a damage over time thing, it looks like. But I can keep stacking it. I feel like, well, I was told that this game has a lot of emphasis on dungeon running. So if monsters have like a fuckload of HP, it makes sense to me that I would have an ability that stacks up to 5 times. This was neat and all, but much like the last time I played, I was starting to get bored at this point. It was just endless questing with a million systems I didn't understand, so I took a break and enlisted the help of my buddy Terrence-Go, someone with far more experience in Eden Eternal who could guide me and make the experience way more enjoyable. Playing an old MMO with a friend elevates the experience beyond, wow, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I also don't know if I care enough to learn how to actually play this game, and it turns it into like an actually fun game. Luckily for me, this was when I learned what Eden Eternal was all about. I forgot I meal prepped some chicken wraps, so I had a nice chicken wrap with some zesty Italian seasoning dressing.
Nice. Is it like the dressing that has like the oil in it, so you have to shake it up?
Oh, do you have to shake it up?
You do not. Is it the one that's like separated?
That explains why it tastes kind of weird.
you ate vegetable oil. That's all you did.
She's floating.
You shouldn't use.
Can I pay $50 to change my name? This character is really valuable to me.
I'd say level 8. Not even level, it's just job level 8.
Ibuprofen.
I guess I'm naming my character Ibuprofen. Alright, Ibuprofen. What class am I gonna play? You said Magician or Warrior? Good. Hunter. I'm gonna do Hunter.
Hunter's a fun one.
I'm about Hunter.
You have added I wish this was FF14 to your friends list.
One thing, oh yeah, you learn how to use the crystal.
Yeah, you get free uses under level 21.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
If you're talking about the portal stone.
Yeah, you lose it around the time you go to like the swamp area.
Oh, where they slow you down, your movement's slowed. Dang it.
Yeah, it was a really cool thing. They had the guy who made Dark Souls make their swamp area.
They brought him on for that part only.
And then we go over here.
Or we auto attack this guy like it's fucking League of Legends.
And then we're going to press party and then confirm.
Cool.
Yeah, we're in the fucking quarry.
Yes. Dude, don't pull, bro. You're gonna what? What? Really? It pops up in the middle of the screen?
Yeah, I pressed need on accident. I don't know what that does.
I rolled a 98, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
No one cares.
Dungeon running in Eden Eternal is satisfying as hell. Yeah, we're talking about the first few low-level dungeons right now, but the quick clear time and huge number of gear drops is really satisfying. I love that dopamine. You can run with only a couple people and still get through the dungeon relatively easily. You could even solo them if you felt like it. And unlike soloing dungeons in Flife, it's actually still fun to do so, and not the slowest thing mankind has ever invented. Being able to switch classes on a 20-second cooldown is neat too. It's like a mini Final Fantasy XIV. You can fill whatever role is necessary with relative ease. The game's leveling system overall is kind of set up like Ragnarok Online too, with your character having both a class level and a character level that are separate. A system that allows for a lot of potential grinding. You even get bonuses for reaching level milestones on every class, so there's actually incentive to play and level them all. I mostly stuck to Hunter at first though.
I right-clicked you and it says dating invitation? I like that you can just be in a dungeon and you're like, you know what? I want to start a fucking life.
It doesn't even require like an item or anything.
True love state.
Dude, is that a buff?
I think it is. You
Holy
can edit
shit,
messages to each other.
10% more XP. Why would everyone
so
not always
fucking
do
cool.
that?
Anniversary length 0 days.
Oh, dude, no gender restrictions too. Thank God.
Oh, this is a good game. Never mind.
What arguably kind of sold me on continuing to play the game at all past this point was the Crystal Cross Medal system. I believe these are rewarded for defeating bosses in dungeons, as well as from other types of content. They can be traded for gear that seems to be pretty impressively strong, and a system like this is very welcome in a grindy MMO in my opinion. You see, in a game like MapleStory, you often have to simply defeat the same bosses over and over for months with the hope of getting the drop you're looking for, and no guarantee that it will actually ever drop. A system like this that allows you to slowly acquire the resources to get whatever you're looking for, colloquially kind of known as a pity system, is actually fairly standard. It just so happens that the games I've spent the most time playing often don't even pretend to suggest a level of security in the time you invest in your character. In a number of these older MMOs, you simply either get the item or you don't, and then you have to try again. I like this Crystal Cross Medal system a lot. That's not to say there isn't some unfair RNG heavy grinds in Eden Eternal that I simply don't know about yet, but from my time spent so far, it's been rewarding to actually progress. I like how if you walk backwards, your character can still attack, but the animation is just nothing. It's a nothing burger of an animation. The gear upgrade system is fairly standard as well. You put your item into the window, attach the scroll to be used to upgrade it, and optionally add a protection item and just go. The fall off is pretty steep though. You're looking at 4% success rate by upgrade number 9, and I don't know how readily available materials are for upgrading. However, you do get a cool particle effect on your weapon when you upgrade it enough. This is another thing they do in these older 3D MMOs that I seriously love. Then you have the system actually called Gear Upgrade. You can apply 3 different stats to your item and slowly level it up by gaining XP. I'm not entirely sure how this system works exactly, but it seems to randomly choose one of the 3 stats you assigned to increase every time it levels. Upgrade systems like this are seriously so addicting. There's either something wrong with my brain or I'm simply the target demographic for Eden Eternal, but I can't get enough of these upgrade systems. All I want to do is grind and upgrade my weapons. It's way more fun than spending time with my girlfriend who makes me watch K-pop Demon Hunters with her. I'm trying to kill a dinosaur so I can get enough resources to upgrade my bow because it has a cool particle effect when I get it to +7. I have chicken in the oven, and ibuprofen is level 26, 25 hunter. So I've been thinking about what I want to do, like what I want my goal to be with this game, because I've really been enjoying playing it. I think I want to become a ranger. So there's a lot that I have to do. I have to get to character level 65, hunter level 50, martial artist level 50. So then we go look at, where's martial artist? Martial artist is thief level 25. So basically at this point, the goal is get my character, get ibuprofen to level 40, get thief to level 25, get martial artist unlocked, then get martial artist to level 50, then get to character level 65 and to become a ranger. That's what I want to do. So I'm gonna do it. I could always like go engineer something and that would be easier, but that's not what I want to do. Well, they weren't lying. Eden Eternal has a lot of dungeons, and since you can solo all of them for good XP from main story quests, you'll find yourself doing them frequently. God damn, I'm getting fucked up in this dungeon. I'm having to use everything I got just to stay alive. I'm actually having to think about my approaches to patrol groups and stuff now. Well, not that there's that many patrol groups, but just groups of monsters in general. I'm having to be very, very aware of how I approach them. So like this guy, I'm not even gonna start the fight until I have my buffs off cooldown. Vile Shark HQ was the first one that really stood out in my mind. It has this non-linear layout that had me circling around the same central area as new bosses were spawned and packs of monsters were cleared. At this point, I was starting to become slightly more comfortable with Hunter as a class, and I feel like Vile Shark HQ, for whatever reason, is where I really started to get a feel for Eden Eternal's gameplay, and I was very thoroughly enjoying my time. Alright, I'm in a new area. I got to level 29 and everything, but I'm running into a problem. If you look at the bottom left, my Hunter EXP is capped at 99.99%. Because your class level can't out-level your character level. So I keep finding myself in this spot where I'm just kind of wasting a lot of XP. Because I have to catch up my character level to my class level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and swap to Thief now early. And we'll get started on leveling this class. Look at that outfit. Look at how cool. The cool thing about Eden Eternal's class switching system is that gear is tied to character level rather than class level. So at level 30, I was able to swap to Thief and immediately equip a level 30 dagger, even though I was only a level 1 Thief. There was no annoying issue of having to go back to low level areas just to catch back up to where my Hunter was at. I can just swap and go as long as I have a weapon. It brings to mind memories of Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, where I would grind low-level classes on monsters and fates around Thanalan back in like 2014 or whatever. I can't believe that was so long ago now. 35 years ago. I eventually found the bank and managed to clear out my inventory for a while, but it turns out you need bank scroll items to unlock access to your bank or something. I don't actually know. It's a weird system that has you basically renting bank space. I'm just happy to have a clean inventory and not be stuck manually deleting items in the middle of every dungeon, which is what I was doing up until this point. There was some kind of event going on that was giving out tons of random items, which is a great way to contribute to the overwhelming nature of these MMOs. I decided immediately after switching to Thief that it would be a good idea to grab all of this stuff and start doing daily quests in the leveling areas per the recommendation of a guide I read. All of this together was just too much for my tired brain though, and I was ready to call it here for the day. I got some cool wings and a bird that gives me minus 8% MP consumption, which I thought sounded pretty good actually. So I guess this is the new look. I was finally starting to learn the game's systems and becoming comfortable with them, even if I was still wearing main questline cosmetics and gear at this point. The journey to Ranger involved a lot more main story questing, a number of dungeons that were honestly very fun to clear, even if I had to do most of them solo, and a massive amount of simply trying to figure out what new class skills do. Dude, this dungeon looks cool as fuck. This is awesome. I love this. This is my favorite new dungeon. This is my new favorite dungeon. Look at this one thing. What is that? Speaking of soloing dungeons, by the way, I wasn't encountering very many other players in Eden Eternal. Even in Channel 1 during peak hours, one of the main areas was not all that densely populated. My game didn't even lag a little bit. Moreover, the market board might as well not exist. There are so few listings at any given time, I was wondering whether it was even functioning properly. It was, by the way, it was just empty. I don't believe I ever got far enough into the game or explored sufficiently to find where the other players were, but they weren't very easily accessible within the game itself from what I could tell. I saw a few chat messages here and there, so there are people playing, but ultimately my time with Eden Eternal might as well have been a single player experience, which honestly is about what you can expect from a game like this. I'm sure there are communities out there, I just didn't look very hard. Look, I got a stun out of my sneak. I just unlocked that at level 30. Combat in this game it's a little arcadey feeling is the best way that I could describe it. Dude, I've killed so many dragons, so many dinosaurs. You can actually kite, which is interesting. Look at that, you can kite. Some MMOs don't let you do shit like that. This is definitely its own thing. It feels weird for sure. It's something to adjust to, but once you kind of get it, it has a nice, unique feel to it, and the combat and gameplay is just fun. So I finally unlocked Martial Artist, as you can see. There was no quest or anything. It just happened. I just was a martial artist. Now I have to level martial artist to 50 and still work on getting to level 65. So I guess I'm playing martial artist now. Honestly, I kind of want to make a samurai. I don't know, I want to try all these skills. The cool thing about this game is you get bonuses for leveling your other classes. I mean, I played Luminary a little bit, but I didn't really like it very much. But like, look, these two classes that I did enjoy, I get skills, I get bonuses for just having them leveled. So there's incentive to level every class, and it's really fun. I really like this game a lot more than I thought I would. Oh, look at that, I have a charge. Interesting. But I need a cestus, bro. I don't know what that means. What is a cestus? Cestus. Look at that. I got a cestus, finally. Yeah, that's really good. All right, that's a good cestus. That's a good cestus right there. Okay, now I can actually play martial artist properly. One of the annoying things is if you don't have the right weapon, you kind of just can't really play the game. You don't get to use all your skills. Oh, damn, this is very Flife. This is very Flife-coded type of gameplay. I like having a dash, like Warrior from World of RuneScape. What's that game called? WoW? Huh. Mining in this game is weird. You buy like a work order, and then you take it to the miner, and he gets stuff. And it just takes time. Unlike most MMOs where you kinda just get stuff. So I'm gonna give him 10 assignments and just see what happens. I'm trying to figure out how all of this stuff works. So I guess we'll check back in on this guy. There's a thing I wanna get, and I wanna get it, and I wanna get it, and I wanna get it. I got it. As I continued throughout the massive number of dungeons in this game, soloing them all with ease by the way, I eventually did reach level 45 on both Warrior and Martial Artist. The only remaining step was reaching character level 60 and trying out Samurai. Okay, that is officially level 75, no, level 45 Martial Artist. I have level 46 Warrior as well. I just have to get to level 60, character level 60, and then I can unlock Samurai. I'm gonna play Knight though. Knight sounds interesting to me. Templar is also kind of interesting. I don't know what my favorite class is yet. I don't know. I simply had to pull myself away from this game at some point. Much like my time with Ragnarok Online, I was having too much fun playing and kind of didn't want to stop. The progression was satisfying and addicting. I started playing Knight and found that I actually enjoyed it more than any of the classes I had tried up until that point. I guess they call this maining a class. It's a little busted that I can just do this. I mean, it's a little busted. Very Paladin, WoW classic Paladin soloing a dungeon energy here. His name is so thick. The main quest line continued on through level 60 without too many major gaps. I think there were maybe 2 or 3 levels I had to grind by solo running dungeons. As I got closer to level 60, I realized that Knight, my new favorite class, was capable of pulling multiple groups of monsters at once in dungeons. Pop Protective Shield and all my buffs, spam my AoE attacks, and I'm hardly even at risk of dying. It's pretty nice and very fun. You get a satisfying screen full of damage numbers and you never die. Overall, Eden Eternal's gameplay loop never changed much. Classes felt distinct, which is an impressive feat on its own, but by the time I reached 60, I found I didn't really actually care for Samurai's kit as much as I thought I would. I had already fallen in love with Knight. It probably also didn't help that I was dying over and over in the level 60 dungeon I had just unlocked, incapable of really experiencing what Samurai was even all about. So I played Samurai a tiny bit, honestly, kinda not a huge fan. I think Knight is my favorite class. I might enjoy Templar. I would need to get a Cleric to level 45, but I've spent enough time on this game. I've played it for about a week straight, and it's been super fun, but I'm ready to take a break. I got some other stuff to do. I got some other games to work on, so I'm ready to take a break from this game for a while. This game, much like Ragnarok, really surprised me. I think I'll come back and revisit this and play Ibuprofen more because there's more to see, there's more to do, there's more progression, and I honestly have really enjoyed my time from start to finish. Samurai was a little bit of a disappointment for me. I didn't show much footage of it, but it just kind of felt like an awkward mix of ninja and warrior, and I really like the way Knight feels. Maybe it's just because I've spent so much time playing Knight at this point. Yeah, so I think the big problem with Samurai is just that they removed Chitin. It kind of ruined the class. Welcome back. That was Eden Eternal. I had a lot of fun with that game. It's definitely something to revisit in the future. I still want to hit the level cap, of course, and try out Templar. I think that would be fun. I love my Holy Warriors, as you all know, an archetype you can find in basically any MMO and pretty much every RPG that was ever made in the history of the world. In fact, it won't be the last time we see that exact archetype tonight. We've taken a look now at both Flyff and Eden Eternal. So far, I can say with confidence that the atmosphere of these games certainly hold something. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, although there is a distinction I noticed between eras. Games released in the 2010s, like Eden Eternal, give off a different vibe when compared with games released 10 years prior, which is to be expected. There's a large difference between Flyff and Eden Eternal in terms of feel and atmosphere. For example, Eden Eternal felt as though it wanted me to participate in its systems. It guided me, in-game guides were abundant, linearity was certainly present, and the dungeon running design of the game made the experience really straightforward. 5 days in, I already felt like I had a grasp on the game and knew exactly how to proceed. It, of course, helps that my friend guided me a little bit, but I think this still says a lot about its design. On the other hand, Flyff took me years to understand. Almost nothing in Flyff holds your hand. For example, before the release of Flyff Universe, if you had started the game as an assist, good luck figuring out how to kill enemies while swinging around a weak stick as your only attack. We'll continue exploring these concepts as the night progresses, but I wanted to check in with some of my findings thus far, as minimal as they may be. We hope you're enjoying this watch-along experience, by the way. It's certainly been an interesting night so far on our end. We've received a few calls reporting visual glitches at various points in these tapes so far. We sincerely apologize for this. I took a look at the Eden Eternal tape here in the studio and noticed similar oddities firsthand. Hopefully this won't impact your viewing experience, and we'll be sure to avoid issues like this on future shows. Hey, consider it part of the charm. Next up, more Flyff. This game needs no further introduction. We all know why we're here. Let's see how this journey to reaching Blade plays out. Go ahead and pop that tape into your VCR, listen for the tone, and hit play. And I'll see you on the other side. All right, back on Fliv. I was doing a little bit of research on how to build a blade, and it actually, people do recommend dex, but only up to a certain point. It's actually a lot like Maple's story, where they're like, never get 50 dex. You don't need more than 50 dex, you're crippling your character. So we're just gonna stop at 30 for now and then go all strength. Here's a regular, inconspicuous, innocuous tree. It's innocent, there's nothing weird about it. Stop freaking out about it. Oh, whoa, I got a new axe. Whoa, this is good. It's not crazy. I mean, I could probably do better even. But yeah, I'll take that. I read that axes are pretty much the best simply because they have the most damage. Like, that's it. That's all. It's all just about their damage. Nothing else. Attack speed doesn't seem to matter. Oh yeah, so there's this, one of the achievement paths you can take is just killing a ton of a single monster and you get more attack rate. I don't know if that means accuracy or attack speed. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill so many of these things, dude. Yeah, it looks like it's a damage bonus. So the more you kill a monster, you can get up to 15% extra damage on them, which is so crazy. But it's like a cool progression thing that you can get. There's so much stuff to do in this game. We got a violet. So I'm gonna go kill it with my main. Wow, look at her go. She's amazing. That power, that speed. Blessing, what the hell is this item? Look at this. Blessing of the Demon. Probably not an extremely valuable item, but definitely something to hold on to. Violet monsters are where you get easy money beyond just like gathering if you're not just wailing. Oh, look at that. I found a ring. I didn't actually like realize you could just find rings. I don't know where else you would get them. It's a little more HP. Defense and FP. Wow, okay. It's a lot more than I thought it was. Level 19, -1, so level 18 actually, which is what I could have just said 18 because that was actually the correct number. If I had paid attention to what was going on, I would have known that, and I could have given you the correct information. There's a lot of cool. I mean, I could go to Nyang Nyang's and get the cute title if I wanted to. Am I really gonna go out of my way to get the fucking cute title? Yeah, I am. Level 19. We are one level away from Empower Weapon, which is actually really good. Level 20. Means new skills, actually. And I might not be using the action slot very much anymore. Okay, guess that's level 5. And then Empower Weapon. Okay, level 5. Now I have to kill 1,000 more to get my cute title. Oh my god, bro. Okay. It's time to make some upgrades now that I'm level 20. And, more importantly, I can actually buy a mount, a flying mount. And I can afford the board or the broom. I usually go board, to be honest with you. 3 mil for the highest tier board is insane, dude. But it's super important. They also, in Life Universe, weirdly, they nerfed the max flying speed of the regular in-game mounts. So like the non-premium ones. They're slow. They do not go very fast anymore. Next step is gonna be upgrades. We're not really probably gonna get anything good until like later in the game. I'm only level 20. That's really early. What am I fighting the most right now? I'm mostly focused on Yang Yangs. They're fire. So if I get water, let's say I get water element on my weapon. Let's go for water element. So I don't think +5 is enough to give it an effect. It has a little tiny effect. You see, it has a little tiny effect on it now. Look, you can see a little bit of an effect. So the whole point of Empower Weapon is, the whole point of doing this is just to get Empower Weapon. It's just not worth going any further than this right now. It's too expensive. Dude, the auto attacks are so much stronger now. I don't need to even worry about using my action slot anymore. I can just auto attack them and they die really fast. So this is gonna be chill. This is gonna be super, super chill. Let's get these last 1,000 that I have to kill. Oh, I did it. I completed the title. Thank God. Oh my God. Welcome back. That was Flife once more. You know, a portion of it. The next step is the big grind to actually reaching Blade. It's going to be a long journey. I remember as a kid spending weeks throughout the summer slowly grinding away on what I believe was a level 40-something mercenary. The early 40s specifically. I had dreams of becoming a Blade and the drive to do it, and I managed to put in some effort towards reaching that goal. It's a very nostalgic memory for me. I remember every weapon I used, every piece of armor I found, and I specifically remember the monsters I spent the most time training on. Oh, and I remember how slow it was too. That grind is brutal without a ringmaster. It seems as though more of you are tuning in as the night goes on. Surprising considering how silent everything usually is at this hour. Hope you're all still awake out there, though I probably don't need to worry about that if these numbers are anything to go by. Before we roll into the next tape, the station needs me to run a quick message.
This station is supported by Emerald Glen Market. Open Sundays at sunrise. Weather conditions permitting, of course. Visit the Old South entrance for fresh goods and friendly conversation. Fair Glen Market, where the day begins.
Thank you to Emerald Glen Market, I suppose. Haven't heard that commercial in a long time. It sounds different. I thought they closed that place down years ago. By the way, we took a quick look at the station logs during that commercial break. Along with showing a lot more listeners than we usually have during these late night segments, we're not entirely sure from where you're all joining. Some of the regions listed here don't even line up with our usual coverage map. I don't even recognize some of these names. But hey, welcome all the same. Alright, let's keep things moving tonight. Next up is Rose Online, a game that was highly requested after last year's show, and a perfect palate cleanser after the Flife grind we just witnessed. Go ahead and queue up your next tape at home, and when you hear that tone, hit play, and I'll see you on the other side. Rose, which stands for Rush on 7 Episodes, is a Korean MMO created in mid-2005 by Triggersoft, which was a subsidiary of Gravity Corporation, the same company responsible for the legendary Ragnarok Online, which we've looked at in the past. Triggersoft developed the game up until 2007, at which point the rights were sold to two separate companies who developed it separately for different regions, and the current playable version is being run by Red Neem Games, a studio out of Austin, Texas, which is like a little over an hour away from me. This version of Rose Online has been running since 2021, and that's what we'll be exploring today. Alright everybody, it's finally time. We're finally doing it, the most requested game ever. That's right, World of Warcraft. Oh, I didn't expect him to be floating. Okay, well, you know, the art style is the art style. Kind of Crystal Chronicles-esque.
Crystal Chronicles 2.
Let's see what this game's all about. I don't know, I've never played it before. I honestly barely even heard of it. But it was arguably one of my most requested games to cover. You can click to move. Just like a weird thing I've noticed in a lot of these old MMOs. I don't know what the deal is, but like I press space and there's a solid half second before I jump in the game. The way this character moves around reminds me a lot of Seal Online, but with better controls, because Seal Online was, you know, it's a little rough. I'm not gonna lie, the art style of Rose Online was always a little bit off-putting to me, if I'm being completely honest. I decided to look past that and give it a real shot though, and yet again, I found myself enjoying the experience almost immediately. I'm not actually convinced it's possible for me to dislike one of these old Korean MMOs. Pebble Twig, wow, the interface here reminds me of like Diablo 2 or Mabinogi. I don't know, something about the way these items are on the ground, just, it's doing it for me. You know what, I'll say it, this isn't the worst video game I've ever played. And I leveled up, by the way. This game has Constitution, it has Cha, and Sen? What doesn't this game have? Oh, I wonder where Bert is. Anybody see him? God, if only I could find Bert. The one person labeled in a quarter-mile radius. Okay, I'm kind of digging this game so far. The stylized art is weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weirding me out. Kind of turned me off from the game at first, because I just didn't really dig the style. I'll say that in-game it feels a little less weird. This is a Bug's Life character. And I fucking killed him. Oh no, I kind of like this game. I'm kind of enjoying it. I need to get my first job advancement before I make a decision though. Whoa, level 236 to 250? What's the max level in this game? Is it 250? Those are very funny looking comedy gloves. They'll protect me better. People in these games have the coolest names. Beatrix XX ReZero. Okay, I'm level 10 and I can get first job. This tutorial, like beginner area is very, very streamlined. You do 8 quests and you just get to level 10 and then you're done. Okay, so I leveled up. I leveled up for being here. I leveled me up. So they do a lot of, if you couldn't tell from the visitor thing, they name their classes weirdly. You have soldier, which is warrior, muse, which is magician, dealer, which is kind of like engineer kind of class, and then hawker, which is archer. I don't play magicians very often, so we're gonna become a muse. Is that it? Am I just a muse now? Yep, I am. Oh boy. Oh boy, skills to learn about. I think I'm just gonna put all my points. Oh yeah, I didn't put a single fucking ability point anywhere. I'm putting it all into int, watch me. You know, this stat system very much reminds me of like Dungeons and Dragons. It's so heavy RPG. You have a stat that increases your quest rewards. That's crazy. Oh, mana shield. I think I will take mana shield actually. Cool, I have a magic shield. Okay, I'm a magician now, but I don't have a magic weapon. Yeah, Rose Online has those loading screens that I love. Just like Trickster. Holy shit, dude. This world feels huge. And the game's running pretty well. And you can see really, really far. Like the draw distance is crazy. What really impressed me was how well the game ran, actually. There were no stutters, camera movement was smooth, frame rates were consistent. I mean, we can't even get that with some modern day games, including those actively being developed by much larger studios. It's kind of crazy to me that Rose Online feels as good to play as it does, much in the same way Flyff was modernized with Flyff Universe. Trust me, I remember old Flyff. That game used to feel very outdated. All right, we always choose MP recovery rate, apparently. I'm just following guides these days, dude. I don't even think for myself anymore. I'm just a magician. You know what it is? That's what it is. Okay, the animation for running with a staff makes me think of Quest 64. That's what I'm thinking of. It keeps coming into my head and I can't put my finger on it, and I just realized what it is. The aesthetics of the game really scream World of Warcraft to me, but the gameplay really doesn't in any way whatsoever. Rose Online feels more like a Dungeons and Dragons inspired RPG to me. Every level up feels substantial, every gear upgrade seems to be quite impactful. It felt like a much older RPG compared to some of the MMO offerings we have available nowadays. Something kind of like old school RuneScape, where leveling agility gives you a quick and early boost to run recovery in a very noticeable way. Not like some of these games we have now, where you can get like 10 levels and barely feel as though you've made any progress because there's 300 levels in the game. What I did learn quickly, though, was that Rose Online actually has a level cap of 250, I believe? Which sounds insane to me, given the fact that I'm like level 20 right now, and I've invested a good couple hours. I can't even imagine what the power progression must feel like if I've experienced so much of it already and there are 230 more levels to go. It's kind of hard to keep track of quests. I'm having a pretty tough time with it, but I am slowly figuring out my character, and that's going pretty well. I'm actually doing decently well now. I'm kind of strong at this point, if I would just say so myself. I think this is an important staff to get. 13 attack power. Yeah, that's better than the one I just bought. Cool. Damn, I'm getting strong now, dude. What the fuck? Woo! Look at these buffs. Stuff I don't need. This ain't no Flyff. I don't know who this fucking guy is, but he is jumping around. And he just invited me to a group. I don't know what. Ooh! Hey, don't mind if I do. Well, that was nice. That's nice. That's what I love about these old MMOs. The obscure ones that are kind of like under the radar. The community is always really nice and close-knit. I've not had a single bad experience in any of these MMOs that I've ever played, except for Flyff. To be fair though, I have played Flyff the most out of all of these MMOs. So, is it a fair comparison? I don't know. I don't know if it's because of all of the MP recovery gear that I've gotten from quests, or what's going on exactly, but I'm able to spam my abilities without any issue. I'm not running out of MP. This shield though, because it takes 24% of my MP, that does kind of drain it if I'm actively using the shield. But if I'm just spamming abilities, no problem. I like the progression of power so far, because fights used to be really drawn out and awkward and annoying. And now I'm starting to feel, oh my God, I'm not gonna beat this guy. I'm starting to feel a lot stronger. I'm starting to understand my limits a little better. Whoa, he locked me. He fucking stun locked me. I swear to God, I couldn't move. But yeah, I mean, I am getting a better idea of my limits. I think fighting that guy was not the right move. The world of Rose Online felt really large. It arguably felt a bit empty, actually, and running around took forever because I couldn't figure out where people were getting mounts from. I ended up just slowly running around massive leveling areas like the Quest 64 guy. Speaking of the leveling areas, they feel very coherent, and that's a huge positive for me. Eden Eternal had leveling areas, but you kind of blazed through them and didn't get much exposure to the world-building aspects. The main quest line and dungeons were really the star of the show there. In Trickster, you also had leveling areas, but they were disconnected. In Rose Online, you spend so much time in these leveling areas fighting the same monsters that it sort of felt like I was conquering them and moving on to the next zone. I would enter a new area, feel very weak, level up a few times after completing some kill quests, and when it was time to move on to the next zone, I felt like the king of the previous zone. A slaughterous, murderous king who kills cute wolves simply because I'm so powerful. Oh, never mind, he's already at half HP. That's one thing I've noticed. Monsters, when you end a fight with a monster, like they kill you or you run away, they don't recover their HP. So you can just go back and fight them again at half HP, which is very realistic, I guess, but super weird for an MMO to do that. Super weird. That was relatively easy because he only had half the HP he's supposed to have. Wow. It feels like the leveling zones are really, really streamlined, very organized. I always feel like I'm working towards something, and I never feel lost really, outside of just being confused on what the quests are asking me sometimes. Oh my God, I can't hit these guys. There she is, standing on the chairs. Will you sit down properly, please? Crystal Chronicles 2? So I've spent a little bit of time playing this game so far. I think I've played for about 3 hours, maybe? And I don't feel confused. To be fair, I did look up a guide for Muse to become a battle mage, I think is what they call it. I haven't felt confused about what to do, like I kind of thought I would, like I did with Eden Eternal. Very confusing, overwhelming game. This game is a little more, I would say, and I don't mean this in any kind of offensive way, I would say this game is a little more Western in its design, where it just kind of gives you the leveling areas and a whole bunch of quests that are very obvious that you need to go grab. Just very straightforward, this is a video game type of thing, and I've been really enjoying that, because I don't feel lost. A lot of the information for this game is compiled on just the official forums, which I think is very old school, very mid to late 2000s. Turns out second job is level 100. To be honest with you, I don't think I'm gonna get there. There are, I think, 250 something levels in this game. I'll probably play just a little more because I feel like I've gotten the gist of the game. I don't feel like there's anything that I'm really missing. And I honestly like it a lot more than I thought. Normally, day-night cycles in video games are fun and cozy, an element I enjoy and often seek out in the games I spend the most time playing. Rose Online, though, has a slightly more involved day-night cycle implementation. You see, at night, these candle ghosts appear. They hit hard, have huge aggro range, and were the source of most of my deaths while leveling. Rose Online feels different than other old MMOs I've played. It feels a little bit more intentionally designed, but didn't have any kind of early hook that kept me wanting to keep going. In the modern day, where I have a billion things I could be doing instead, Rose Online falls off pretty quickly as far as my general interest is concerned. I didn't find any far-off goal that was really calling to me like I often manage to find in these games. That being said, this game is amazing for 2005. It feels like watching Noir on DVD because it was the only thing you had. Like, it's good, but it's not as though we're talking about Cowboy Bebop here. Rose Online really reminds me a lot of Trickster Online. A great memory, a unique game experience, and in Rose Online's case, surprisingly technically competent and responsive. I'm seriously impressed with the technical aspects of this game, but I have other games to check out still. So while Rose Online was fun, the grind just seems a little too intense for me right now, and I'm gonna put it down. Revisit it when I have more time to invest in reaching a higher level.
Yeah, I thought it was a sound effect you played. There's no way that reached us here in the studio, right? It's insane, it's crazy. I've never heard that before.
Welcome back. That was Rose Online, a fan favorite and a game I enjoyed more than I expected to, but I have thoughts. The gameplay loop that you find in MMOs is so addicting, you know? Slowly watching the XP bar fill up until you reach the next level, acquiring that small boost in damage output, and maybe even unlocking a new cool skill. There's a reason we all love these games. The world, the progression. Rose Online, in my opinion, did a really good job exemplifying the strengths of an MMO. But I think my specific experience with it also exemplifies some of the weaknesses of the modern MMO. Paying attention to certain aspects of these games has so far only revealed one thing to me. MMOs have become more accessible over time. Yes, you could spend 200 hours learning the basics of an MMO in 2005, but this design assumed a lot of things about the player, which inherently limited access. This led to a weird dichotomy of ideologies and a split in player bases, and it encouraged tribalistic behaviors. For example, one group of people might want to invest a large amount of time and energy into writing guides to help new players, or advocating for systems to be improved, while others will simply say, "It was hard for me, so it should be hard for them as well." Difficulty and systems that were often outright poorly designed were usually moralized by veteran players who gatekept accessibility and progress. And this was very prevalent within these old MMOs. This is something I've personally spent years observing in the classic MapleStory community, this split between ideologies, with one prioritizing forward progress and others prioritizing nostalgia. The former often consisted of new players who were far less likely to stick around when their ideas were shot down by the latter group, often consisting of veteran players. And that tension becomes especially obvious when we really talk about specific mechanics. Let's take a look at HP washing as a concept. This is a complex system that involves building your character with precise stat builds and spending microtransaction currency to ultimately give your character a higher max HP value than what's intended by the game's design. It's a system that is known for being extraordinarily time-intensive, assuming the player understands the underlying mechanics. So after a player spends 2 years preparing their character for in-game bosses with this HP washing mechanic, which is a serious time commitment, it's definitely going to sting a bit if the developer proposes a fix to the system to make it easier. So their resistance is very understandable. And ultimately, what this really affects isn't balance or efficiency. It's how the game's world feels to exist inside. Updates and improvements to systems are inevitable for a healthy game. As MMOs are modernized, they're improved on a technical level. They run better, they feel nicer to play, and perhaps most consequentially, it removes friction. Old MMOs are special partially because they're unknown, and partially because they might have a few weird quirks with their engine that you have to adjust to. So as you invest more time in the game, these quirks become part of the experience, and it helps it to stick out in your mind. This level of effort invested over time is what draws in a certain type of player who is more likely to become that veteran who gatekeeps their time investment. So, with Rose Online, I did something a little different. I asked myself, what happens when I remove that unknowability myself? What happens when I lift the veil? You see, my normal approach when experiencing these games and putting together these tapes is to just jump in and only look up specific things I don't understand as they're presented to me in-game. I almost never read an entire guide that tells me what I should be doing as a brand new player. I like to keep the experience somewhat organic. I believe it should be reasonably possible to play a game without downloading a 50-page PDF of knowledge and hidden mechanics that you have to read through before you can make like a thief. And in most games, this is the case. You can get pretty far before it's time to start looking stuff up. And I think having a guide spoiled the experience for me a little bit. Like I said, old MMOs are special partially because they're unknown. They have this specific atmosphere to them that arises because of the emotional impact their unknowability had on us. What's that cool skill? How do I get that item, and what does it do? Who is this high-level player who's been rank 1 for years? Everything is exciting because you don't know what to expect. You have no answers, and these things are more impactful because you think about them more in turn. Let's say I showed you a cool skill from Rose Online in a high-quality 60 FPS 1440p video and explained to you exactly what it does, as well as provided tons of visual examples to go along with my explanation. I think most people would agree that's simply not as impactful as it would be if their exposure to that same skill was a 30-second clip from 2004, or even just word of mouth in-game with no visuals. That feeling only really works once. Once everything is explained, documented, optimized, once the Pandora's box of knowledge is opened, the world stops feeling mysterious and it starts feeling solved instead. And I would argue that this is where a good bit of that old MMO atmosphere comes from. MMOs were never really at their best when they felt solved. At that point, you're just going through the motions to watch your numbers go up. Which is satisfying, but that's simply not the driving force behind MMO enjoyment for me. If it was, my Dark Knight would probably already be level 200. Hope you're all staying warm out there tonight. I find Christmas week always has this calm, relaxing energy. I stepped outside just a moment ago and noticed that the streets were completely empty. No vehicles around. Reminded me of Mazurna Falls a little bit. Anybody remember that video? Next up is another Flife segment. The big push to level 60, a childhood dream fulfilled. It's gonna be fun. I'll be here in the studio keeping an eye on things. Maybe it's just this weather pattern, but our signal's been the cleanest I've ever seen it. Static free, further reach than we usually get. That just doesn't happen very often. Not with our equipment, and definitely not during winter. Go ahead and load up that next tape. When you hear the tone, hit play, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, I was dead silent. It was the strangest thing. Yeah, you should go check it out yourself.
Now that I am officially the cutest mercenary in the game, it's time to buckle down a little bit and actually grind for real. The Nyang Nyang grind was fun and all. I got the full completion, which is the first time I've actually done that on any monster in this game, even on my Ringmaster's account. Let's just grind, because not only is becoming a blade the primary goal, it's also only one of the first steps. It's not even the whole game. It's just part of the game. So, we're off to Saint Morning. Ooh, new sword with an awesome fire effect on it. This actually looks kind of nice. I mean, it looks 2004 nice, we'll say. How's that sound? Not as cool as this guy. Damn, bro. Trying to upstage me on my own YouTube channel? That's a ban. That's a permanent ban. Alright, so I'm doing some quests because I got a little bored of just farming. So I decided to do some of the story quests because there is actually a storyline to this game and it gives good experience. I just hadn't done it up until now, so I'm catching up. I found this cool axe. War Axe Strength and Dex Plus. Seems pretty good. So I'm gonna spend some of the 45 million pinya that I have to upgrade it, because I think this could be a weapon that lasts me until I become a blade. First step is gonna be giving it wind elemental status, elemental upgrades. Element upgrading, Gale card, upgrade goal, will make it +6. Let's see if this is even remotely doable. There is an increase in upgrade success rate right now because of an event going on. So maybe. Sweet. Got it to +5 already. Let's see if I can get it to +6. Wow, look at that. Wind +6. I don't think I want to push for +7. But I will. No! Oh man, it went all the way back down to +4. Okay, I got it back to +6. I'm just gonna settle for that. This thing looks weird as fuck. But it's kind of cool. So I didn't record it because I'm dumb, but I used that weird item that I got from that Violet, the Demon Blessing. It rolled stamina and then rolled +0. What? What? Why would +0 be an option? Level 52. Dude, get out of my face. So now begins our journey to actually becoming a blade now that I have reached level 60. I mean, I guess the journey, you could say the journey is kind of done. This is the conclusion of the journey. But there still is a little bit more that I want to do.
Becoming a blade isn't easy. First, a simple test of your skills in combat to see if you are qualified. Go to Kipra and hunt down 20 drillers.
Regular drillers. Oh, I think this is going to be the exact same quest line as Ringmaster was, actually. Okay, just real quick, I'm going to look up a guide so that I make sure I do everything right here. By the way, this is a really funny quest requirement. It's like, yeah, I killed 10,000 monsters to get here. That's cool that you did that, but go kill 20 more. And by the way, they're not much stronger. They're not special in any way. They're just 20 more of the regular monsters you've already been killing. All right, we need to take it to Guabil in Laren Mountains. Earring of Heron? Oh shit, I gotta go to Darkon 3. Again, I think Darkon 3 is an area you're not allowed to enter until you're level 60. I always forget about that. Yeah, there's a lot of monsters around here that I've never trained on because I've just never reached these levels. Look at this, dude. You got dumps. Okay, there's the earrings, by the way. Did you see them? Too bad. Dude, I'm not joking. Get out of my face. One of my favorite things that I've learned about this game is that if demand for an item is super high and supply is really low, people will charge you like 15 mil for a single green. And that sucks. So I'm hoping I can get my level 60 set, assuming I still want to use greens. Okay, looking at it, it seems as though I don't get a blade set until level 75 and then, you know, level 90 and beyond. Of course, this motherfucker's in Darkon. Rescorn suit +3.
30 million Pina.
It's not worth that much. It's just not worth that much. See? Look at this. Rescorn suit 1 mil. That's a way more reasonable price. There's only one helmet for sale. Bro, please don't be 50 million Pina. 3 mil and Rescorn boots for 3 mil is, that's a highway robbery and you know it. Baba Goose Scooties. 100K, look at that good price. Let's go. Rescorn boots +5 is pretty good. I mean, that would probably cost me about that much to upgrade it to that point, if I'm being completely genuine with you. Rescorn boots of strength, because they are also Rescorn boots of strength, so I do get the 1 extra strength. So there you go. A full new set of gear cost me about 7 mil or something. Is ridiculous because the stupid suit was so expensive. I'm gonna go upgrade this all to +3. Okay, those are already done, I guess. Oh, these are +5 already, right? My shoes are already press 5. Press 5 in chat if you think my shoes are +5. Oh man, so much traveling. It's wild to me that they nerfed the move speed of mounts in Flife Universe. I still can't get over it. I haven't forgotten. I know that you could fly a lot faster in old Flife. Okay, there he is. Shacalpion. Or is it pronounced Shacalpion because it's a scorpion? You don't know. I don't know. Oh man, we have to go to the Blade Priest in Darkon 3. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this a no-fly zone? Shit, this is a no-fly zone. That's not good. Well, just don't get hit by anything. The Blade Priest is over here. What a weird, isolated spot for you to be at, bro. You look suspiciously Ringmaster shaped. Look how grand and awesome these places look. And the tree growing right there makes a lot of sense. This is so cool. I love this area. There is genuinely so much of Flife that I haven't seen. For how much I love this game, there's a lot of it that I have not explored. And I really put off a lot of that time that I could have been exploring because I was just like, okay, there's glass blocking my fall. Because I was like, I gotta have a blade and a ringmaster. I needed both of them. In just a moment here, I'll be able to equip 2 weapons though. That's gonna be so fucking cool. Oh my god. That took quite a while. This character is just so weak, man. Man, am I unreasonably excited for this achievement in this game. Just me and my koala. Going to get my 2nd job advancement. He can, yes, he can fly. That's the animation he's doing right now, is flying. All right, Blade Guardian.
Well done, I now officially bestow the title of Blade upon you. Heron, please bless and encourage this blade as they follow your will. The clowns will have their amusement, and their amusement will destroy the world.
It's a bit of a tone shift there, but I did it. Yes! 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 Finally! 20 years I've waited for this. This very simple thing that I've just achieved. Blade. It looks like, so there was an update while I was raising this blade that I believe added third job. In my Ringmaster skill tab, there's also now a 4th icon. This was not here before. So the very interesting thing about... It's so fucking interesting. Blade, as a 1v1 blade who uses auto attacks, skills are like totally irrelevant. The only thing that matters are buffs, including Berserk, which I get Berserk at level 65. And that's really neat because Ringmaster is the polar opposite. It is so reliant on skills to do anything that it's really nice to go to a blade and not feel like I'm being crippled because I don't have all of my skills. Like on my Ringmaster right now, I had to re-roll all of my skills to better suit my mercenaries leveling. So my Ringmaster can't do anything on her own right now. Yeah, the experience fucking sucks, but these monsters are 5 levels below me. That might be a little too low. Usually I'm killing monsters higher level than me. But yeah, this experience fucking sucks. The attacking animation is cool as hell. Super happy. I finally have a blade. I feel very good right now. However, the next step, I still need to go do a couple more things. There are a few more things I still want to do before I finally take a break from this game and revisit it in the future. I'm definitely a little stronger, but it seems like all damage calculations are done by your main hand, based on what I'm reading as well. So, goddamn, we'll see. I have a lot to learn. I've never had a blade before. I've only ever been able to admire them from afar. Watching them on YouTube and thinking, wow, that would be cool, instead of actually grinding to achieve it myself. I just wished I was. Welcome back. That was Flife yet again. The grind to level 60 blade was rough. You don't know the wrath of Flife until the very dedicated Pinya farmer steals your materials for the 20-cent value they hold. Happened to me a couple times. Haven't really let it go yet, clearly. Though I'm happy to say that becoming a blade was a very fulfilling experience for me. 10-year-old me would be very happy to have finally achieved this goal. I can now confidently say I have both a Ringmaster and a blade. It's actually really satisfying to say out loud. Here in the studio, things are continuing to become increasingly more bizarre and inexplicable. Between all of this analog tube audio equipment heating up and the multiple computers running at all times, the ambient temperature in the studio is certainly a few degrees higher than average. That's normal. It's pretty nice in the winter, but it was becoming a bit unbearably hot tonight. We cut the furnace temporarily, hoping to cool things down a bit, but it's been about 40 minutes now and it's still really warm in here. The temperature simply stopped falling after a certain point. Right now, we're operating as a quiet radio station with nothing more than that warm hum you get from this type of audio broadcasting setup. We'll see if the temperature goes down any further, but I'm not counting on it. It feels as though something's trying to keep us warm in here. Getting back on track, the next tape is Mabinogi, another fan favorite, highly requested game that I'm very happy to finally explore a little bit. It's a game I have history with already, actually, if you can believe it. Well, you know the drill. Load up that next tape, and when you hear the tone, hit play. I'll see you on the other side. If there's one thing I've learned from exploring these MMOs, it's that, generally speaking, the longer I play, the more I get out of the experience. I know, this sounds like a very obvious statement. Yeah, Togain, the more you play, the more you experience, duh. But this has also not been the case for every MMO I've ever explored throughout these tapes. It's kind of just a rule of thumb at best. With this in mind, I was ready to commit a large amount of time to Mabinogi, the game developed by DevCat Studio in 2004, later transferred to Nexon in 2009. Accurate history of DevCat Studio is actually kind of sparse and tough to find. I scoured a few websites, but never really found too much concrete information. It was the first project by the studio, and it became enough of a hit that they're still around today. Early on, Mabinogi had a lot of spillover from ex-Ragnarok players, actually. The games tend to appeal to similar audiences in that regard, and this was a big part of its early success alongside word of mouth. People would not stop talking about this game, and for good reason. Mabinogi took 4 years to leave Korea and find its way to North America, being released for us in 2008, and I remember that time vividly. It was the cool new kid in class, and playing it instantly made you cooler by association. Then there were the other games that Nexon was publishing at the time too that held similar status, like Cartwriter and Audition. These were always the games people were playing while they were AFKing in Genesis. Anybody remember those games? I have history with Mabinogi actually, having spent countless hours playing it with an old friend of mine 10 plus years ago now. I'm actually a little bit familiar with the gameplay. Sometimes we'd wake up as early as like 5 a.m. and talk on Skype while doing whatever you do in this game. This was during my 4chan years too, where I found myself in the then new Video Game General's Mabinogi thread pretty much daily. I can't say I'm as knowledgeable about Mabinogi as I am with old school MapleStory, for example, but I'm not going into this game totally blind like I often do. I'm very excited to spend some time in this game and really experience it once again. Who knows what I'm gonna find, or whether I'll even enjoy the experience. Hey everybody, it's me, dumbass who didn't fucking record the character creation process. This is Big Beer, and welcome to the world of Mabinogi. My first impressions upon entering the game were that of simply pure innocent nostalgia. A wave of nostalgia hit me and I was not expecting it. I felt back at home in a world I inhabited over a decade ago and had completely forgotten about until now. Otherwise, I learned very quickly that there was some kind of event going on and found myself being shuffled through a series of cutscenes, dialogues, and game mechanics I barely understood for the next 2 hours. It wasn't very fun, honestly. But I love this game, and I was more than willing to do what it asked. So, Mabinogi has talents. You can think of them kind of like traditional jobs in other MMOs, and you can only specialize in one at a time. However, certain talents, when mastered, can merge together to form an arcana, which is basically like a superclass combining elements of the two talents. That's how I understand it, at least, and that's what this event was all about. What about Sacred Guardian? That sounds almost paladin-esque. Shoulders exposed, and... Wow! Did you guys see that? What the fuck? Why can't I do that? Every one of these skills is just kill everything in one hit. Alright, well, I know what my arcana is gonna be. I spent day 1 in Mabinogi becoming a Sacred Guardian after trying it out in the testing grounds. It's a holy warrior. Of course I was going to choose it for my combat class. However, that's not why I play Mabinogi. Combat in this game is awkward. I don't think that's much of a secret. Unlike Rose Online, which felt incredibly intuitive, Mabinogi is kind of the opposite. I'm used to this game simply handing me a couple guidebooks and saying,
Okay, now go explore and figure out the rest.
What I'm not used to is being given very powerful combat abilities immediately upon character creation. Day 1 was almost a bust because of this event. However, I was patient and saw my way through the entirety of it. I'm serious when it comes to Mabinogi. I'm going to be hanging out in this world for a while, so let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. If anything, it's nice that I have some fun, cool, powerful combat abilities immediately. Cuts out a lot of bullshit grinding that I would otherwise have to do. I mean, I was looking forward to that early game grind, but what's done is done. I'm a Sacred Guardian, and it's time to figure out what the hell else I can do besides blindly click through event dialogues. Oh, and I'm max level. They pushed me up here during the event after I rebirthed, so I had to wait a day to go back to level 1, which I wanted to do. It's worth mentioning the rebirth system in Mabinogi since it's kind of a core element of the game. After enough time passes, usually 24 hours, you're allowed to rebirth back to level 1. You can do this as many times as you wish, but there's always a cooldown period between rebirths, unless you have the rebirth cash shop item. Rebirthing as a mechanic goes much deeper than this, and I don't claim to understand it fully. To be honest, I don't even know why one would rebirth beyond the switching talent specializations. You might even be able to do that without rebirthing. I don't even know. They sucked me back in with this one. They got me. If it wasn't for this cool event that lets you choose an entire cosmetic outfit to own for free, I would have probably started my Mabinogi adventure with a little less excitement. This really pulled it back for me. Okay, well, I guess that's the end of day 1. That was exhausting. That was only 2 hours of gameplay, and I am exhausted. And I'm a Sacred Guardian as well, but that was fucking tiring. Jesus. The one question I have is, what is Mabinogi? Because I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a far-off end goal like in MapleStory, where you chase the endgame progression on an asymptotic curve. It also doesn't feel like Black Desert Online, where you're always competing against other whales for the highest PvP status. And it's definitely not Toontown, because I know Toontown. It kind of seems like Mabinogi is primarily a social game with a billion systems to experience and horizontal progression that grants a lot of freedom as a player. So the question then becomes, what am I trying to achieve? Oh, there's an actual auction house! Yes! This is good. This is gonna help me figure out what to make.
Pokies show me the Misot expensive items.
There are no expensive items in this game. Okay, cheap leather sells for 1 gold apiece. Dragon scales sell for 57 million. So something in between those. Okay, so it looks like zinc ore is selling for a couple hundred gold apiece. This might be a starting point. Over the last month, it's fluctuated between like 500 to 1,000, couple thousand here and there. How often are they selling? Not very often, dude. This all took place the day after I finished a massive rushed project, and I was exhausted. I didn't even have the energy to farm more early gold, so I called it a night. Little did I know, dungeons would actually be a huge part of my time in this game. I suffer from a curse, a familial curse, one that's persisted throughout my family for generations. I love making money. Every time I launch up a game for the first time, my initial instinct is, how do I reach the money cap in this game as quickly as possible? It even happens with single-player games. For example, I've been stuck in a fairly early game dungeon in Bravely Default for about a decade now because I unlocked the ability to thieve from monsters, so every few months I play a couple hours just farming them until I get bored. And that's the gameplay loop for me with a lot of games. All of that is to say that this curse that binds me and my lineage, both past and future, reared its ugly head once again in Mabinogi. It really didn't help that they gave me the cool paladin class immediately, because now all I have on my mind is making gold. Whoa, dude, what the fuck is a shadow mission? I keep hearing about shadow missions. Why am I your child? Looks like iron ingots sell for quite a lot. So let's say I want to make a whole bunch of iron ingots. Let's go buy a pickaxe. That was a little more sinister than it should have been, probably. We need to go back to the Bari dungeon in Bangor, which, I mean, we're going back to the same place I was at last night. Here we go. All right, let's see. Am I allowed to mine this or... Yes, I am. Yeah, it looks like I just get experience for fulfilling the requirements, in this case, mining ores. Yeah, there you go. It looks like I'm not getting experience anymore? I can't tell. But if you look at the level up methods, it says I have to mine Cullen stones and sulfur ore from Zardine, which is like a cool way to say the word sardine. Whoa, look at those. Whoa, dude, I just got so many iron ores. I have 60 iron ores right now. Here we go. Deliver 5 lumps of iron ore, cool. And now I can refine, thank you very much. Sliced bread, I need you to leave me alone. The water wheel isn't working. 1 minute with 100 gold, 5 minutes for 450. Oh, that's easy. I wonder, does it get better? Success rate 71, because look, my skill level is so low. Each iron ore is worth about 900, and each iron ingot is worth about 2,000. So, truly, this next step of refined... Why is it? Just auto-craft them, bro. This next step of taking the ore and refining it actually lowers the value, because it takes 5 ores to make 1 ingot. So if anything, I either need to sell the iron ore directly, or I need to refine the iron ingots into something else that's more valuable. The demand for the iron ingot is going to be higher than the demand for the raw ore, because people don't want to go through the process of refining it. So even though the raw ore is worth more, you're going to have a harder time selling it because less quantity moves. So if you want to sell anything, it's probably worth taking the loss of turning them into iron ingots. That's what I think. So, that is a very, like a preliminary, early look at one way to make money. I don't know how lucrative it's gonna be. I have 384 iron ores. That's gonna be really hard to move. I'm not even gonna try. So let's just get all of this smelted. Oh, I gotta go pay for the water wheel. By the end of my 3rd day, I had made around 500,000 gold. And yesterday, I didn't even know how to play the game. You can argue I still don't know. You wouldn't exactly be wrong. Maybe this is actually incredibly inefficient. I was nearing about 10 hours of playtime at this point, still somewhat unsure of what goal I was aiming for. Homestead, maybe? I like player-owned housing in MMOs. Perhaps that's my only goal right now. That being said, I was kind of loving Mabinogi. It's been really fun so far, and most of what I've done involves solo dungeon running and mining. That's been like half of my character's progression. Yet I find myself falling more in love with this game every time I get that dopamine hit of an item in the auction house selling. It could be due to my very personal history with my time in this game, or perhaps the fact that it's kind of orbited around me for most of my conscious life. I mean, I've been hearing about Mabinogi for about as long as I've been playing MapleStory, so nearly 20 years now. It could also very well be the case that I just genuinely appreciate an MMO that doesn't try to hold your hand so desperately, shoving you down a linear path of cutscenes or basic progression, instead just letting you do whatever you feel like. That's valuable to me in an MMO, a genre that's becoming more and more about linearity. If I had to sum it up though, it's simply that Mabinogi feels like home to me, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. Today was the day of my third rebirth. The Arcana event from day 1 boosted me to level 200, which I believed at the time had some adverse effects on my character's basic early progression. I would later realize that this was not the case at all though. I'm just used to games being terrible. In my second rebirth, I decided not to reset level, not realizing this, so I had to wait a little longer for my third rebirth. Despite rebirthing and leveling up naturally, I still didn't find the Homestead Unlock quest. I still didn't know where to look, so I decided to turn my attention elsewhere. There's one thing I noticed in a lot of my research trying to learn how to play Mabinogi, and this is the Shadow Missions system. I didn't really know what these were, so I figured I'd learn about them. They're pretty straightforward, as it turns out. You accept the quest from the quest board in Terra, enter the Shadow Realm, and kill everything. At least that's what I did for the one shadow mission I actually completed. There are multiple difficulties, and it seems the major reward is simply XP and AP, neither of which was all that appealing to me at the moment since I was boosted so heavily from the Arcana event. And that's actually all I did today. I briefly looked at my quest list to see if I was given this mysterious homestead quest that, according to all the resources I've found, you're supposedly given upon reaching level 10, but I saw nothing, so I simply called it a day. I had figured out an early moneymaker that wasn't very difficult at all and was lucrative enough for initial funds, so the curse was satisfied for the time being. Obviously, we're not even talking about millions of gold here though. We're talking about mining. But until I knew how much gold I needed and why, I really had no drive to keep farming anything anymore now that I had solved the problem. I didn't know what I was doing, and I thought the homestead would provide answers. And I was growing tired of my only goal being inexplicably out of reach. Apparently it's my birthday and I didn't know. Now's gift collection. Oh, so it's not a gift, it's a treasure hunt. Bro, you want me to go on a scavenger hunt? How is this a birthday present? Dude, you just get so much stuff in this game, it's insane. What I need to figure out is homestead though. Receivable quest board. Create a homestead. Thank you. Whoa. Yeah, I think I want to make a house around here in the frozen tundra. Homestead name. Go away. Damn it. HEB. That worked. All right, everybody, let's go to HEB. Well, I finally figured out the homestead. I can mine. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Look at that. It's slowly building. This is kind of neat. So you just farm this, you mine this, and you get homestead stones. Oh, that's all there's a limit. Okay, but we got to level 2. So I can create, I can expand. I'm just trying to absorb all this information right now. I got a little more space. Cool. I can create a mansion? Look at all this stuff I need. Okay, there's a lot you can do here. So now I can, yes, now I can plant stuff. I need homestead stones and seeds though. Oh my God, can you even buy homestead stones? Wow. 300 homestead stones is 8 million gold. Well, I guess I have a goal now. I've figured out what I want to do is expand my house, so I guess I'm working on that. After unlocking my homestead and figuring out that basic money-making method through mining, I felt content. This game is wide, it's vast, expansive. I probably only scratched the surface of its systems in my 5 days spent playing, which is more than I spend on most MMOs. I was warned about this too. I was told, don't include Mabinogi in this year's watch-along. The game's far too vast for a short section in an anthology. And they were right. Mabinogi felt like the opposite of Rose Online. Whereas Rose Online had no hooks, Mabinogi had too many hooks, pulling me in different directions, and without enough time to commit to exploring every single one, I ended up with a relatively simple and semi-fractured experience overall. I don't feel as though I've done much of anything in this game. It demands more time commitment than what I was able to give it, if it's to really feel like a deep, cohesive MMO. Really, I should have explored the social side of the game a bit more. I should have learned more advanced gold-making methods. I should have figured out how to do any combat whatsoever, even though I was sort of rushed through that process with the Arcana event. This is actually a very similar feeling I had with old-school RuneScape when I first started playing it. A lot to do, but almost too directionless. Yes, this is something I enjoy in games, it's simply that it requires a lot more time investment. It's a good thing that game has pets to collect to sort of give structure to the otherwise very free and open game. An equivalent must exist like that in Mabinogi as well, something that acts as a cohesive thread tying this extremely wide game together to some degree. I'll find it. And then I can stop spending entire days mining for a total of 500,000 gold. Welcome back. That was Mabinogi. Mabinogi, what an experience. I wish I could better illustrate to you how at home I felt in that world. The clunky engine and homestead hiccups, though they were present, didn't even get in the way of my enjoyment overall. I found myself immersed in its world without any effort. I just love that game. I hope I can find some excuse to keep playing it in the future. It's certainly the highlight of this year's watch-along for me personally. One thing I noticed that was abundant within Mabinogi was the community presence. I started my short journey right at the tail end of an event. All the channels were pretty much empty, and a new event began on day 2, I believe. This filled up those empty channels with players and revived the beginner world chat alongside it. This beginner player chat room can be thought of similar to the novice network in Final Fantasy XIV. Lots of new players asking questions and lots of veteran players willingly sharing their experience and knowledge. We saw that with Rose Online in an external forum with guides and discussions, but I really appreciated this beginner chat room. I didn't ask any questions, of course. I was more content with simply looking things up and piecing together the puzzle of a game myself, but other players were given a decent amount of guidance that I was able to observe throughout my time in Mabinogi. This is one of the things that Mabinogi does right in the modern day, in my opinion. Perhaps there's a better balance to be struck, but even having community act as the user experience of an MMO is already a major strength. Players organically interact with one another even if they're not participating in content together, and this leads to naturally arising friendships and reciprocal sharing of knowledge after the once new players who were given guidance reach a level of knowledge and experience that they can pass on to any new players. It's a healthy environment to have in an MMO, in my opinion. However, when the player base is smaller because there's no ongoing event, this chat does tend to devolve into a personal chat room for longtime players to vent their frustrations. I saw that happen a few times as well. So it's far from a perfect system, but it's a step in the right direction. We still have one last tape to close out the night. I wanted to make sure I ended Flife on a different note than with last year's Ringmaster progression, so let's check in on my blade and see what she was able to achieve. Hello, it is me, the new blade. I just got done with the whole playing some Mabinogi. That game's awesome, by the way. I am very tired, end of the day. But housing specialist. I'm gonna try to get a housing, like a player-owned house. Minimum, we're looking at 100 million pinya. I have 9.7 mil. I know how to make pinya. It's pretty easy. I'll show you. But it's gonna be a grind, and I just want to get to that because I really want to see what the housing system is like in this game. And that'll be the last thing I do on this character for now until I come back and achieve some more stuff. Let's get it poppin'. One of the things about Flife making money through materials that you gather is, I'm an American, right? So I live in Texas. So right now it's noon for me, but most of the players of Flife are in Southeast Asia. So you get a lot of competition later in the day, and it's really hard to find stuff. However, because it's like 1 a.m. over there right now, I should be able to go farm a whole bunch of stuff freely. Guru right now are the most valuable for some reason. I think it might have something to do with the latest event. And hopefully I can make some more money. I'm still slowly making my way there, 24 mil. That's good progress for one night. Of course, that was selling a lot of stuff I had already collected. But that's sort of my strategy. It should be pretty easy to hit 100 mil with this. I can also go to Darkon 3 and farm there, which should have less competition, but it's also more dangerous. Now, see, there's a motherfucker there. Do you see how crowded? It is 2 a.m. and there are still people farming somehow. It's not my favorite thing in the world, competing against other people for a couple bucks. That kind of sucks. But this is how you make pretty easy early money. Oh, and that's Kakashi right there. I am Kakashi. Well, here we are. After a good number of hours of just running around Darkon 3 farming minerals, I've accumulated 100 million pinya. It was actually not even that hard, just time consuming, and that was really the biggest issue with it. Super time consuming. I actually don't really want to spend all this on a house, but that was the goal. That was the whole point of it. This 100 mil could be so good for funding this character, but hey, in the future, I can always go farm more. If I was able to do this, you know, money is easy to come by. And as I get stronger, it'll get easier to come by as well. I'm only level 60. I still have a lot to do on this blade. I think I'm gonna buy this. Oh, the Fall World template. Wait. Do I want snow or fall? I'm gonna buy snow. Okay. 100 million pinya for this, and it sells for 1. So my money's gone. Select template, then I can enter? Nice. Yes! Yes! Finally! Oh my god. Oh my god, I did it, you guys. I'm... It's not like that was the largest grind I've ever done. I mean, I trained a blaster to level 275 in MapleStory. That was a pretty big accomplishment at the time. But this still feels good. Welcome back. That was Flyfe, and our final tape of the night. With the Flyfe home finally acquired, and both my Ringmaster and Blade primed for brand new levels of progression that I've yet to experience, I think that's a good place to leave things for tonight. Some goals met, others still waiting. That feels about right. It's getting late here in the studio. The equipment's been humming away all night, and aside from that warm glow and the quiet between tapes, things have settled down again, or at least settled down enough. On behalf of everyone here at the studio, we thank you for spending part of your night with us. Whether you've been listening since the first tape, or just tuned in somewhere along the way, we're glad you were here. As always, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next year. Good night, everyone.